Presentation loaded. It's 124 slides, so it took some time. I promise it sounds scarier than it is, so just bear with us. But today we're here for the 2022 benefits open enrollment presentation. So we're going to go through all your different benefits and have some time after to address any questions or concerns you may have together. So a couple of things you need to know this time of year are that your open enrollment period has started as of yesterday. It runs July 25th through August 5th. So any benefit elections or changes need to be submitted by the end of the day on August 5th. Those changes will be effective on September 1st of 2022. And it's important to note that whatever decisions you make regarding your benefits are going to be in place until the next open enrollment period in 2023. Unless you have a qualifying event such as a marriage, divorce, birth or adoption, or loss of other coverage. The biggest change that's going to occur this year is going to be a change in medical carrier. Today, the medical benefits are administered by Medica, and as of September 1st, they're going to be administered by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. We're going to be moving from 2 networks with 2 plan designs down to 1 network and 1 plan design using the preferred Blue PPO network. And with me today, I do have the Blue Cross Blue Shield team, and they're going to walk through some of the benefits with you and some of the plan features they have. But I want to make note that it's important to mention that the benefit plan design is remaining the same. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lisa from Blue Cross Blue Shield, who's going to share a little bit more about the Blue Cross Blue Shield benefits and additional services. And Christy is going to join us as well.
I'm just going to say a little quick hello. My name is Christy Nelson-Weber, and I'm the account manager for Grand Forks Public Schools. We're super excited to have you back as Blue customers. And Lisa, I have Lisa Bartholomew. Lisa's our service rep / assistant account manager. She's wonderful. She knows everything. We're both available for questions. And then also Melissa Van Ups is with us, and Melissa is our wellness expert, and she's going to talk about those. So I know we're crunching on time. I'm going to let these ladies get up here and talk. We're here for you if you have any questions. Thank you.
Just have to go back. The slideshow has a mind of it.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisa, as Christy mentioned, from Blue Cross. I'm just going to go over a little bit about the plan design, which, as Katie said, is not changing, just changing carriers to Blue Cross of North Dakota. Just letting you know that it keeps playing on me, so let me just, we're going to have to pause it in the middle. Okay, we will cover enrollment, understanding your plan, prescription overview, and any member resources you may need. As Katie said, also enrollment opportunities. There is, I'm just making sure we're on the right slide here. Okay, birth, adoption, marriage, death, divorce, those are kinds of things you can do outside of open enrollment. That's a special qualifying event. Otherwise, you need to make any changes you want to make 491 with your HR department now. We will explain here how your insurance is going to work. There's 3 tiers of coverage, so there is going to be individual, which is just yourself, employee only. The deductible is $1,000 in network, $2,000 out of network. I'll explain a little bit about the network because it's going to be different than what you guys are used to for a network. If you do have parent and child or parent and children, it's $1,500 in network, $3,000 out of network. Why does it keep playing ahead? Sorry.
Can you back?
I can, but it's got to be a way to stop it from playing.
Here, let me try get out of it for a second.
No, you're fine. It must be on like auto play mode or something. Okay.
Let's try this again.
Okay. All right, so there we go. $1,500 in network, $3,000 out of network for parent and child or multiple children, $2,000 in and $4,000 for family, and that's yourself and your spouse, or yourself, your spouse, and your children on that family class of coverage. Here is a little breakdown of what your copays will look like and your coinsurance will look like. It should look very similar. Example, $25 copay on an office visit with some coinsurance, $150 flat copay on an ER, urgent care 25, chirotherapy that 25 or 20, depending on what you're getting done. And then the coinsurance is just that 20-80 split where you pay 20%. The plan pays 80%. The out-of-pocket amounts by class of coverage are listed here. So $3,000 in, $6,000 out for employee only, $45,000, $9,000 for parent and child or parent and children, and then $6,000 in, $12,000 out for either yourself and your spouse or yourself, spouse, and your children. All right, ID cards. We're hoping these ID cards are going to be coming in the mail prior to 9/1. That's the goal. They will come in an unmarked white envelope, so be on the lookout for that. It kind of looks like junk mail, but open it up because that's your ID card in there. Next, I will go through prescriptions. Just a brief overview of what our prescription tiers kind of look like. There's a formulary list, there's restricted use drugs, there's specialty drugs, and there's brand name and generic drugs. It's probably pretty similar to what you're used to, but our formulary could be different, so as always, just double check the formulary list to make sure your drugs are on there. And here's where you can find the list of all the drugs. It might be in the benefit guide too, but it's that bcbsnd.com/rx. You can find the formulary list. The main formulary list on there is what you guys want to look at. And then you can also register at myprime.com. Prime Therapeutics is our preferred benefits for pharmacy manager. So I've got printouts on this too if it's hard to follow, but you can make an account there and see what your drugs are going to cost you. And here's just a screenshot of, you know, what you look at once you get to MyPrime. And this, I'm going to also mention, you kind of need to wait till you get your ID number to do the MyPrime and the members web, because you're going to need that ID number. If you need that ahead of time before you get your ID card, we plan on getting all the ID numbers to the HR department, hopefully in plenty of time for you guys to be able to register before 9/1. And then what the benefits are actually going to look like for generic on our formulary listing, it's a $15 copayment and 20% coinsurance. Brand name is a $20 copay and 20% coinsurance. And then non-formulary just means it's non-preferred, not in our formulary listing, is a $15 copay and 20%, and brand is just a little bit more at that $20 copay and 50% coinsurance. Generic medications, just a reminder that it's always good to check if you're on a brand, if there's a generic equivalent that may work better for you, because the price difference is quite a bit. And I'm sure you guys are aware of that, but we just always like to remind people. Your specialty medications, those really expensive ones, you were with Accredo before. If you're on a specialty med, you probably already know this, it's going to stay with Accredo. So that'll be a nice transition that I believe the prescriptions should just transfer over to Blue Cross of North Dakota. But you can always check with us if you have questions on that. And another new mail order option that we are starting for you as of 9/1 is Meds Your Way at Amazon. So you can go right onto your Amazon account on your phone or on your laptop, and I'm not quite sure how it works yet. I think you either download your RX, or you might have to work with the pharmacy. You're kind of our first group on this Amazon Meds Your Way, but it's pretty exciting. You're going to be able to use it as a mail order option if you'd like to as of 9/1. So more information to come on that. And a few member resources. Telehealth is a big deal, especially after the pandemic. So you always have the option to use your own provider, telehealth services, and you'd use your normal copay, coinsurance on that, or Amwell is our preferred vendor for telehealth. I've got information over at the table if you're interested in that. You can download an app, and then you just make sure you use the service key of Blue Cross or BCBS ND, and that will get you the correct cost share for that. And Amwell you can use it for stuff like colds, flu, fever, rash, sinusitis, pink eye, ear infections, migraines, many other options for telehealth if you would rather use that than going into the doctor. And as discussed prior, your network is now going to just be the Blue Card PPO network is what it's called. In North Dakota, About 99% of all providers are in this network, so you should not need to worry traveling outside of North Dakota. It's about 95% of doctors and 96% of hospitals that are still in the network. So on our website, you can search. Once you go in there, you'll just search for Blue Card PPO providers, and you'll know they're in your network then. And just a note on Blue Distinction Centers for anybody that is going to be looking for services related to bariatric surgery, knee and hip replacements, transplants, those kind of things. We do like you to go to a Blue Distinction Center. So I believe there's 2 or 3 in the state. So if you have questions on that, just let me know. I can look them up for you. And then the member portal. So once you get your ID number, it would be great if you'd register on the member portal. This way you can go find a doctor, you can look at your cost shares, you can look at what claims have processed. It's just a really handy tool for looking at your benefits and your claims. And this just kind of goes over it again, helps you manage your health plan, health care costs, can stay on top of where you're at for the year. You can download explanations of benefits if you needed a copy of that. And then the next thing we will talk about is, well, there's a lot of slides here on the portal, but you're not going to pay, yeah, it's easy. And I've got handouts at my desk if you want it. And then the last thing I want to talk about before Melissa talks about wellness, find a doctor, Blue Card PPO network, like I said, you can go right here, and you can do this now. You don't have to wait till you have a member login. You could just go out there, search for any doctor just to make sure your doctors are still in the Blue Card PPO network as of 9/1. So I will turn it over to Melissa just to talk a little bit about our wellness benefits.
So you're hitting the forward
Yep,
arrow
just
button?
hit the forward arrow button.
Okay, okay, all right. Hi, everyone. It's been a while. My name is Melissa Van Epps, and I'm in the wellness department, and I don't know if anybody remembers me, but I was out here years ago when we were with you before, and I worked with Rhonda Variano and the wellness crew, so we're excited to be back. So I'm just gonna go through, pretty much everything has changed since you left us, so now you get to relearn everything with Blue Cross, but it's easy. So like Lisa was talking about our member portal, you can go out there, and that's probably the first thing that's changed, and maybe you don't even remember, but it's a single sign-on to get to your wellness platform. So we have what's called Healthy Blue now, and Healthy Blue is powered by WebMD, and in order to get to your wellness platform, you actually just go through your member portal. So once you get your ID card and you get set up, that's just another click once you're in the portal to get you to your site. So like I said, it's powered by WebMD, so if you've ever been out to the WebMD general site, it'll have kind of a familiar look and feel to it. And it focuses on the 6 dimensions of well-being, or what we call our blue elements. So wellness isn't just about diet and exercise, it's about other things like the emotional, the social, financial, and so on. So there's all different types of tools within the Healthy Blue that go along with those elements. So once you get out there, you'll do a first-time registration. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff. It just walks you right through it. And then when you're going through that registration, what it's going to do, it's going to ask you, what are you interested in? So you'll check off the different boxes there, like what you're interested in. And then if you also have any medical conditions, you'll want to check those off too, because then what happens is when you log into your Healthy Blue account, your home page or like your landing page is catered to you. So it's almost, we compare it to kind of like a Netflix type of experience where, when you start watching a couple different shows on Netflix, and it'll be like, you may be interested in this, you may be interested in this. It kind of works that way too. So it'll point out different things that are programs or maybe challenges that are going on that might be of interest to you. So there's a health assessment out there too. That's actually another item that changed previously. Before, you would have to go out to the Blue Cross site and you had to do the personal health assessment in order to even access the site. You don't have to do that anymore. We still encourage it just to, so you can see where you're at and you can update, if you are working on things. It's just kind of nice to just have a starting point to reference. So you can keep your personal health record out there if you want. There's also a mobile app, so you can download that to your phone. So if you're more of a phone than a desktop, laptop person, there is an app out there, and then it also does connect to different devices and things like that too. So it's pretty user friendly. There's also coaching out there. There's different daily habits plans. So if you're trying to maybe exercise more, lose weight, work on hypertension, that kind of thing, there's different programs that you can sign up for that will walk you through those. There's like different like modules and things like that for you to do. So that's a little bit about the Healthy Blue. And the next program I'll just cover is the Prenatal Plus program. And this is a free program. So if you're expecting, definitely get signed up for this program, and just all you have to do is just call Member Services, the number on the back of your card, get signed up for it. There's no charge for it. It's included with your health plan. And if you are a high-risk pregnancy, they will hook you up with a case management worker so that if you have questions, they're going to help you guide you through that whole process of when you're pregnant. So kind of, what to expect while you're pregnant, the different things, they'll kind of prepare you for, okay, at this, next doctor's appointment, this is probably going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, too, there's postnatal care. So it's just a great program. They'll send you out a packet of information, things like that. So Learn to Live, that's a newer program for us at Blue Cross as well, too. This is something that we pushed out during COVID, with the onset of COVID and mental illness just kind of going through the roof. This has been a great program. We piloted it, and we thought it was so great that we pushed it out to all of our groups. And so you guys have the Learn to Live program as well. It's confidential. It's an online cognitive behavioral therapy program. I have to say that slow because it's a tongue twister. So the programs that they have available out there: depression, social anxiety, stress and anxiety and worry, insomnia, substance abuse. So what it does is it focuses on problem solving and changing our behaviors. And this is something too, this is a great tool where maybe you are already doctoring for this or going to a physician or an office or a counselor for it. This can supplement that. So it's not meant to replace that, but it can also be a nice tool if you're maybe waiting to get in somewhere, and this can help you along with that. So what it does is it helps to ID your problems, help you to understand how your mind works and how you can deal with them, and how to make a plan in order to try to work through those different issues. So Wellbeast, this is probably the program we're most excited about, and you guys are the first group that I personally have worked with that is going to get this program, so we're going to learn about it together. So, but what the Wellbeast is, it's an on-demand fitness provider, and so you'll be able to create an account, and you'll be able to go out there and do basically any kind of program you can think of. So there's over 1,000 classes for all ability levels. Yoga, HIIT, strength training. This is also a great tool that if you want to use it with your students, you sure could. You can go in there, you can indicate, okay, I want to do a desk exercise for 5 minutes. What do you got for this age group? Or so you're really going to have a lot of fun with this, and we're going to educate you more as we get closer and stuff too. It's pretty user friendly. If you want to go out there and check it out on your own. Oh, and I forgot too on the last slide, Learn to Live. Couple things, I don't know, are these in the links in their packets I got? Okay. But yeah, if you just go to wellbeast.com, and if you want to get a better feel for what this is all about, they have information out there and videos that you can watch too. But it's really fun. Just a great way to get little pokes of exercise in your day here and there. Or if you want to work it into your classrooms, you can certainly do that. There's also other things out there like social groups, like you can send a text to your, coworkers and be like, okay, I'm going to do this quick strength training 10-minute class at 3:00 today. Who wants to join me? And they can virtually join you. There's also recipes. I think I might have said that too. So a lot of great tools out there. So more to come on that. So, and, there we go. Okay. And then the last item I'll talk on is the OMADA, which is the Digital Diabetes Prevention Program. And so what OMADA is a program that you can apply to. You do need to be accepted into it. And it's for people that are pre-diabetic. And so you're going to answer, if you're interested in it, go out there, fill out the questionnaire. It's going to ask you questions. And if you qualify, then you're accepted into the program. Basically, you won't be accepted if you already have a diabetes diagnosis, then this is not a program for you. This is for pre-diabetes. So what it basically focuses on is getting you healthier so that your chance of type 2 diabetes goes down. So changing behaviors, helping you to work on, maybe if you just work on your blood pressure and your weight. That's going to help. So it's going to help you focus on things like that. They're going to send you a scale, and it'll be hooked to your phone. You'll get a coach, things like that. So it's a very interactive digital program. So that's also being made available to you as well. So I think that's it for me. I'm going to hand it back to Lisa.
All right, and just wrapping it up here, we just have a couple more slides, then I'll give it back to Katie. Just want to touch on member advocacy. We do have a program that can help with certain medical conditions. It's a pretty cool program if you do have the conditions listed here, severely premature babies, heart defects of some sorts, pediatric cancer, some kinds of traumatic injury, or if you're undergoing a transplant, you can contact our member advocacy team at the phone number there or the email there, or reach out to one of us and we'll get you that information. They are really great to work with. And then the last thing I wanted to let you know is our member services phone number, which is in your benefit guide as well. They'll take you right to our customer service center in Fargo, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And then it is just my email and Melissa's email if you have any questions on what we talked about today. Thank you.
All right. A big thanks to the Blue Cross Blue Shield team for joining us today to go through that. They will have a booth in the back for you guys to address any questions or concerns that you might have and want to go through with them. So as I mentioned, plan design is staying the same. Network is getting simpler, so you just have that one network. You don't have to obtain that referral to go outside that network any longer. So some exciting changes there, but again, a lot of things are staying the same. So speaking of, they just talked about OMADA, so that's that pre-diabetes program, and that is going to remain the same benefit as it is today for the Grand Forks Public Schools health insurance members. But there is also a program for members who already have a diagnosis of diabetes. You guys have probably heard of the program POPS that's currently offered through Grand Forks Public Schools. And we have Kevin here today who's going to talk through POPS and what that is for the next couple of slides. So Kevin, come on forward.
Thank you, Katie, and the Blue Cross team. Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Lunke. I'm with POPS. Been here for about 3 years now, so I'm just super excited for the opportunity to be here, share a little bit about our solution. Originally from Thief River Falls, went to school here at UND. I also spent a number of years working for the university as well. So part of the Grand Forks culture and community, and excited to be able to offer a solution to help people in the community. So thank you for Grand Forks Public Schools for offering this as a benefit. I'll briefly go through this. Don't have too many slides. I have a video. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I got demo in the back if anybody wants to see our solution. So yeah, just talking a little bit about our solution. Basically what we wanted to do was offer a simple self-care platform for people to manage their diabetes. So yeah, like I said, if you do have type 1 or type 2 diabetes and are on the health plan, you can have access to our solution. And what it is basically an app that provides a virtual health assistant we call our Mina, that is kind of helping you very in a light coaching way, not going to overburden you with anything, but just really providing you like trying to hit your blood sugar goals, reminders to test your blood sugar, and also, you know, providing little nudges in the right direction for the certain behaviors that you want to be aware of when managing your diabetes, like making sure you're getting your professional eye exam in the last year, or making sure you have a plan if you have low blood glucose or high blood glucose, and then offering tips and tricks and articles if you need a little bit of help in that regard. And so then we combine Mina with our own Rebel glucose meter. Like I said, I can certainly provide a demo, and I have a little video if it works. But really just a simple way to test your blood sugar on the go, replacing the traditional test kit, if you might be familiar with that, which is tough to carry around, with this simple solution that's all integrated. So basically, yeah, and then through Grand Forks Public Schools, you get unlimited testing supplies. You can test as many times as you want. It's going to be no cost to you. So a great benefit. Like I said, just talking a little bit about the meter specifically, really wanted to remove the barriers of what we saw as the three main areas where people do not want to test their blood sugar with the traditional test kit bags. That would be, you know, too large to carry around, tough to fit this in my pocket to go around wherever I'm going. Requires assembly. It's not really discreet. You don't want to pull it out in front of everybody and test your blood sugar, as well as the lancing tool hurts. With our solution, it's about 20% the size of the traditional test kit bag. I can carry it wherever I'm going. test wherever I'm at. Nobody really know what I'm doing. It's all integrated, so there's no assembly needed. And then we did a study where 93% of the people say it hurts much less than the traditional lancing tool. So we'll see if this works here. Might not. All right, I'm just going to skip it, but like I said, I have demos in the back, so if anybody wants to see our solution, can do that. Just want to basically provide a very simple consumer experience. All you got to do if you want to sign up through our system is download the app and register. It takes about 5 minutes. We send the welcome kit and unlimited testing supplies right to the doorstep. You can order more testing supplies right through the app, or Mina is monitoring a little bit where you might be getting low on your testing supplies, and we'll provide a prompt for you to order more. You can, in the app, view all your trends over a weekly, monthly, 3-month basis, and your blood sugar goals if you're in your goal or out of your goal. But you also can share that data with your provider, and also invite your family or loved ones to be able to get access to those blood sugar measurements. So for instance, my boss, he has type 1 diabetes. He has his wife get a notification whenever his blood sugar gets below 60, then she gets a notification. So I'm really providing that safety net, if you will. And how you enroll, like I said, you just download the Pops Rebel app, click I'm new here, go through the registration process and input the customer code 52GFS. I also have flyers that has that customer code on it. And normally you would receive the welcome kit right in the mail, but I do have a variety of, or about 10 or so welcome kits here. So if anybody wants to sign up right now and get a welcome kit, certainly can work through that process. And the last slide is just customer service. So we have a great team that is there to provide any kind of help, whether that's technical help, of any issues that you may have. We can do video calls, emails, text, whatever it may be, really trying to provide a great experience so people love to use our system. That'd be it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. And again, as a reminder, both the pre-diabetes prevention program through OMADA and the diabetes program through POPS are covered at 100% to members on the health plan, adult members on the health plan. Real quickly, your dental plan and your dental rates are not changing. They are remaining the same. So preventive care is key on your dental health care. So preventive care is covered at 100%. Basic restorative services are covered at 80%, major restorative services at 50%. There is not orthodontic coverage on this plan, and the annual benefit is $1,250 per covered participant. Same with the vision, no changes to the plan or rates on this plan. It covers an exam every year for a $10 copay. It also covers lenses every year for an additional $10 copay, up to $150 allowance every other year for lenses. You can do contact lenses every 12 months in lieu of for a lower value of $130 per every 12 months. And then an additional benefit that Grand Forks Public Schools does provide to you as employees is flexible spending accounts. So there's a medical flexible spending account and a dependent care flexible spending account. So today here to talk to us about that is Chris from, hopefully I pronounced this correctly, but Avabin. Perfect. Okay, all right. Chris is going to talk to you a little bit more about those benefits.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining today on this beautiful day. I know it's hard to get you in here during the summer, but thank you for coming. My name is Chris Williams, and I work for Avabin, benefit consultant for Avabin, or formerly known as Educators Benefit Consultants, EBC. And we are the third-party administrator for your flexible benefit plan or voluntary category options. The three main categories that are available to you at Grand Forks are the full-use medical FSA, the dependent care FSA. Now, FSA is flexible spending account, so flex plan, 125 plan, they all mean the same thing. And outside health insurance FSA. Your full-use medical FSA can be used to pay for out-of-pocket expenses that are not covered by your health insurance through Blue Cross or another group health plan, if you're on your spouse's plan. Dependent care FSA is used to pay for dependent care expenses. So if you are paying for childcare during the school year, there's no reason you shouldn't use this to use tax-free money to pay for that first $5,000 tax-free. And for dependent, anyone that does not turn age 13 in that year is eligible. So under age 13. Outside health insurance FSA, now this category used to be a lot more popular before the Affordable Care Act. Unfortunately, with the Affordable Care Act, it has changed this category to only allow for supplemental premiums. So it does not include health plans. It does include, however, vision, dental. If you have any specialty type of premiums through like a cancer policy, a diabetes policy, anything like that, you can use this category.
I'm just going to stop you. Our health, our dental and vision are done at pre-tax.
Correct.
So we're not able to do those.
So if you go through, yeah, so if you're getting a plan outside of it, though, you can use that category. But if you're going through Grand Forks, those are already deducted pre-tax, so you won't have to, not to confuse you on that. With the flex plan, there is a rule called use it or lose it. In order to participate, you have to be offered a group health plan. You don't have to enroll in one, you just have to be offered one. However, see, I'm moving. There is this use it or lose it feature. So we highly recommend you conservatively estimate your elections during open enrollment, because if you get to a point at the end of the year where you can't spend that money and the plan year is going to end, you are going to lose it, unfortunately. So don't put in $2,750 into the medical FSA thinking you might have something come up. Know that you're going to have something come up, or only put in the amount that you know you're going to spend on your prescriptions in the year. Or if you have an orthodontia a child that's getting braces, right, you know you're going to spend that money. So you do make a separate election for each of those three categories. You can choose to participate in all of them or none of them, don't matter. You will receive a reminder from Avabin 90 days before the end of the plan year if you have money in your account still, just as a friendly reminder, hey, you got 90 days to spend this, okay? They already went over this, but your plan year is September 1 through August 31st, 2023. You have what's called a grace period with this plan, so you have an additional 2.5 months after August 31st to incur expenses. So you really have 14.5 months to spend that money before you lose it, okay? And then you have 6 months from the end of the plan year to submit any expenses. So you have until, January 31st or whatever of the following year to submit those expenses. Oh, did you have a question? Sorry, okay. Oh, I can't see this one. So you can only enroll during open enrollment unless you have a change event. They talked about that with the health insurance. I'm going to go over, the change events are very similar to the health insurance. There are a couple different, unique ones for the flex plan that I'll go over here in a second. When we're talking about what is eligible through the medical FSA, the IRS has 3 categories to determine if it's an eligible item. One is medical, always going to be eligible, right? It's a medical item. Good example of that is Band-Aids. There's no other use for Band-Aids other than sealing up a wound, covering it, whatever. You're not going to use it to build a house or do construction or anything like that. Primary personal. Believe it or not, toothpaste is considered a personal item. It is not eligible through an eligible item. In the eyes of the IRS, it's cosmetic. See some over there, so take it. Probably a better example of that's tooth whitening kits. Obviously, there's no real medical advantage to whitening your teeth, right? It's primarily personal. And then there's the dual purpose, which could be medical or could be personal. Massage is probably the easiest example I can explain of that. A massage could have a medical purpose, right? A doctor could prescribe you massages. That would be an eligible item if you have a letter of medical necessity. However, I've gotten a massage before where it was just personal, right? No medical necessity or anything like that. We do, if you enroll in the medical FSA, we do send you a Visa benefit card. If you participated in it last year, you can continue to use the one that you have from last year. The benefit of it is you do not have to pay out of pocket, so you don't have to get reimbursed. However, you still may need to submit a receipt to prove that it was an eligible item. I won't go into a lot of details about the inventory systems, but there's two types of system. One's a 90% vendor and one's an IIAS vendor. IIAS vendor is going to be your big box stores, Walmarts, Targets, your Walgreens, stuff like that. They typically have this inventory system there, and how the card works is you go shop at Walmart, get a whole cart full of stuff, and they swipe it through. You swipe your benefits card. Anything that is an eligible item will automatically come off that bill. And then they will ask you for another form of payment to pay for those items that are not eligible. If you're at a 90% vendor, this is going to be your doctor's offices, dentists, vision offices, stuff like that. Maybe some small pharmacies. You can still use the card. They don't have that advanced of a system where they can determine what's eligible or not, so you may still need to submit a receipt. You'll never have to submit a receipt to an IAAS vendor. You may have to submit a receipt to a 90% vendor. So I always recommend, unless you know exactly what type of inventory system they have, which most of you probably don't, I don't, then you just keep the receipt anytime you use the card. Talking about the change events, back to the change events, marriage or divorce, birth, adoption, or death of a dependent, termination of employment, change in employment status, but it has to impact your eligibility for benefits. So you weren't benefits eligible and you become benefits eligible, or vice versa. And then one other one that only affects the dependent care FSA and the outside health insurance FSA is change in cost. So if you have a change in cost of your daycare provider, and it was only going to cost you $2,500 for daycare for that year, they increased their price to $3,000. You can increase your election into the dependent care to $3,000 for the year. So that is one unique change event for those two categories with the flex plan. How do you submit your claims for reimbursement? Well, we talked about the debit card where you can pay, you don't have to pay out of pocket. You can send it U.S. mail, web portal. You can log into the web portal, scan it, send it that way. You can fax in the claims to us. We also have a mobile app available now. I believe you used it. You had it last year available, right? Okay, good. It's pretty new to us, so this will be the second year, I believe, where you can use that as well. Very easy. Everyone has a smartphone nowadays. Take a picture of the receipt, upload it to the mobile app. Very easy. Couple caveats there. Please do not email me your receipts. Believe it or not, I get it all the time. But there's personal health information on there, and we do everything in our power to protect your PHI for HIPAA rules, and just because it's your personal information, we don't want it. If you can help it, keep your original receipt and submit a copy, especially if you're using mail. Believe it or not, the mail is not always get to us when, So, copy your receipt, keep the original. So with the medical FSA, let's say you elect $2,000 during open enrollment. On September 1st, you break your leg. You go to the doctor, get a big bill. You can use all $2,000 to get reimbursed on that day, even though you have not put that $2,000 into your flex account yet. That is only for the medical FSA. The dependent care and the outside health insurance, you can only get reimbursed what's in the account. Medical, you can get reimbursed for what you elected. Does that make sense? Good. Talked about the mobile app, but you can get it at the Google Play Store, App Store. Just search for Avabin, and we should be the first one there. I'll hang around to answer any questions if you have any, but please let me know.
All right, hang in there with me, just a couple more slides to go. So we're going to talk about basic life, accidental death and dismemberment, and LTD. These are all benefits provided by the district on your behalf. Classified and certified staff are provided with a $15,000 employer-paid life benefit. Administration is a $50,000 benefit. And then they also provide accidental death and dismemberment. And what that means is, heaven forbid somebody were to pass away or become dismembered in an accident, that life insurance benefit doubles. So instead of a $15,000 payout if you were to pass away in an accident, your beneficiary would actually receive $30,000 in a benefit. So it's also an important time to remember, even if you're not making any changes to your benefits, to go in and update your beneficiaries to make sure they're the most up-to-date as you would like them to be. The other benefit provided by the district is a long-term disability benefit. So this is if you were to go out on a disability for longer than 90 days, this benefit would start to pay 66.6% of your income, your pre-disability income. And it goes on in potentially until Social Security disability age. So again, both of those benefits are paid by the district as a benefit to you as an employee. There is an additional option to buy voluntary benefits. You have the opportunity to buy voluntary life insurance. You can buy an option of $20,000 or $40,000 if you're classified or certified staff. You can do an additional or purchase a benefit for your spouse of up to $50,000, and then $5,000 per dependent. Oh, yep. I'm sorry, there's a typo on there, so that's correct. Thank you, Angie. So that $50,000 is for administrators, and then the $5,000 is per dependent. There's also whole life policy available through Unum as well. So if that is of interest to you, that is a benefit you can purchase through payroll as well. The employee has a guaranteed issue of $70,000 if you enroll when first eligible. So if you waived this benefit previously, you would have to complete an evidence of insurability, which could include a medical exam. So just be aware that that is an option available to you as well. And there's a variety of other benefits available through Unum as well, including critical illness. So critical illness is a benefit to protect your income and personal assets and out-of-pocket expenses if you were to, or a loved one covered under the plan were to come down with a illness. And the covered illnesses are going to include heart attack, stroke, major organ failure, end-stage renal disease, cancers, and coronary artery bypass surgery. So if you were covered by this policy and were diagnosed with one of these conditions, you would receive that flat benefit amount that's designated. And you can use that benefit for any way you choose. You might have out-of-pocket travel expenses, out-of-pocket expenses on the health plan, but it's important to note that that benefit is paid directly to you. Very similar is the accident benefit. So the accident benefit pays a benefit based on the injury and the treatment you receive, including emergency care and surgeries that might be included in your treatment plan. So there's a schedule of benefits depending on what that treatment is and what benefit you would be paid. Again, that is paid directly to you to use how you see fit to cover those non-covered expenses. And it is important to note that these plans do have a $50 wellness benefit. So if you are covered by this plan, if you file a wellness claim with Unum, it's basically you're telling them you've had a list of services done, things like mammograms, colonoscopies, your annual wellness exam, or lab work. Any of those things qualify, you file a claim with Unum and they'll send you a $50 check. So just keep that in mind. If you're covered by the accident plan or your spouse is covered by the accident plan, you could be eligible for that benefit, and we would encourage you to file a claim each year for that. Then there's also voluntary short-term disability. So earlier we talked about the long-term disability. That's for if you are out for more than 90 days. If you have a short-term disability, so you're out less than 90 days, you can elect to purchase a short-term disability policy. Very common, we see people who are maybe anticipating having children or having a surgery like a knee surgery or shoulder surgery, something like that. We see a lot of people enroll in these plans for those purposes. There is an elimination period for both accident and sickness for 14 days. So after 14 days, this benefit would start paying out, and you have the option to cover 40% of your pre-disability income, 50%, or 60% of those base earnings. And then the benefit period would be for 12 weeks that it would pay out. If you start a short-term disability claim and, heaven forbid, have to continue past 90 days, it'll roll automatically into that long-term disability policy that the school district provides on your behalf. And last but not least, an additional benefit provided through UNUM is the Employee Assistance Program. We want to encourage people to check this program out. A lot of people immediately think, oh, it's just counseling, but there's a lot of additional services available through the EAP program, everything from will preparation, financial stress, kind of everything you think of with your everyday challenges. I just heard a story about somebody using their EAP program to help them find a daycare provider because daycare is so hard to find in North Dakota. I can speak firsthand to that. So just remember that this is a free benefit available to all employees of the district. And I'm not going to get into detail on the retirement plan, but just know this is also an opportunity to make changes to your retirement plan through the BSWIFT system as well. So that brings me to my last slide is how do you make changes to your benefits? You're going to want to enroll in the BSWIFT system as you have in years past. It's important to note that your ID has been reset, so you'll be asked for your birth date in an 8-digit format, 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the date, and 4 digits for the year. And then you'll be prompted to reset your password so that you don't have to remember it from year to year. And then from there, you're going to click Start Enrollment, and you'll be able to go through your benefits. It is important to note that even if you're not making any changes to other benefits, if you are enrolling in the Flex or Dependent Care Flex, you have to complete enrollment. That does not roll over year to year. So just please keep that in mind. Got it. Okay, so it is, everybody has to go in and complete the enrollment. Okay, sounds good. So please go in and complete your enrollment. If you have questions on any of these benefits, please visit your My Benefits app. There's going to be a lot of additional flyers, some pre-recorded presentations, videos like Kevin had in his presentation today. So I encourage you to check out that My Benefits app for those additional resources as well. But at this time, we want to repeat again, we appreciate your patience for the technical difficulties right away, but I think if we would like, we can go into questions if anybody has. If you'd feel more comfortable asking them in private, we will also be here after the presentation to address any personal questions as well. Any questions? Yeah.
I have a question about the Amazon pharmacy option.
Yeah.
I saw on the slide that it mentioned if it counts towards the out-of-pocket max. Is that for in-network or out-of-network?
Yep, so the question was regarding the Amazon Meds Your Way. You had mentioned it applies to your out-of-pocket expenses. So yep, so Amazon Meds Your Way is basically like an additional mail order pharmacy option for you. So you're going to go into your Amazon account, you're going to add in your Blue Cross Blue Shield member ID when you receive that new ID card. And what it does is that automatically applies a discount card. So when you go shop for your prescription, what it's going to do is it's going to show you the Amazon price, the Amazon Meds Your Way price, and it's going to show you the Blue Cross Blue Shield negotiated discount. And you get to pick which one. I would obviously pick the lower one. I don't know about you guys, and then it just arrives at your doorstep like a normal Amazon delivery. There are some restrictions, like controlled substances can't be delivered via mail order and things like that. But regardless of which option you pick, my understanding is it does apply to your out-of-pocket maximum. So it's just like filling it at a normal pharmacy. It's just getting delivered to you in a different method. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it would say in-network.
Yep, and it would be an in-network pharmacy. Great question. Yeah, that's a really exciting program, and I believe it's exclusive through Prime, so you guys will be one of the first people to have access to that, so that's very exciting. Great question. Any others? You guys certainly don't want to go outside on this beautiful day, I'm sure. All right, well, thank you so much for your time today and your patience. Please stick around. There's a lot of giveaways, so help yourself to some of those things, and feel free to stick around and visit with some of the reps if you have any questions. But thank you, everyone.